Hello again, 1/64 scale construction farming equipment lovers. I already reviewed this one. This is a product prototype. It has some damage to it. It's not the actual true representation of a model you can buy, but you can look it up at KPI or JCI and you'll find the review of this and the story as to why this exists. So I was sent another product sample, another, I guess you could call it a reject, not fit for sale thing. And this is called a Port Industries seems to be the company that makes this in real life, and it's called a Hydramaxx 3320 with a V-plow. And this is part of an industry called tiling. Tiling is the proper irrigation of farmland. So you can see here there's a tube on a big roller, and that tube is fed in through the plow. And so while this tractor drives off, it's pulling the plow, making a ditch for this tube to go into. And what this is for is to have proper water runoff of your farmland. If you didn't, irrigate the farmland when it rained, it would just either flood the plants or run all the nutrients off of the soil. So that's my understanding. I'm not a farmer, of course. So this is their website, and you can see it at work, right? So as it's digging the ditch, it's laying the pipe as well. That's a joke in the making right there, what I just said, but whatever. Okay, so it's interesting to learn about that kind of stuff. So here's a 1/64 scale Auto World Mercury Cougar, just to give you an idea. I mean, this is farm equipment, this big. It's a big tractor, right? All right, so let's look into this. I'm reading a classified ad for this thing. It seems like this thing is powered by a almost a 12-liter Cummins QSG 12. I don't know if that means it's a 12 cylinder or what. Making around 400 horsepower, and then it has a 150-gallon fuel tank, but it also has a tank for the oil to run the hydraulics, and that is 70 gallons of oil on its own. So that's actually quite a bit. I don't see a top speed, but these things don't go very fast, of course, because they're digging trenches. All right, that's all I really know about this. I actually designed this model in a program called SolidWorks, and then Empty Pocket Rebuilds bought the model, and then they 3D print it out of resin, and then they paint it and decal it. So it's basically, those guys are selling finished models of construction and farm equipment. So let's take a look here. Yeah, these tracks were just, this model was designed in 1/64. I usually design stuff in 1/400 for my little airplanes, but nowadays I don't really design much of anything. All right, anyways, you got a whole bunch of bogey wheels here. You got the drive wheel with a whole lot of nuts holding that thing together, bolt heads, I guess. Some other bogey wheels here, and then some rivet or whatever pins are used to keep those links together. The actual tracks are staggered. One track plate is just straight across and low. The other one is high, but it has a notch in it. Sorry, the lighting's pretty horrible here. I'm in America right now, so this is not my usual photo booth. It's kind of a makeshift operation going on here. This is actually the front end. One would think it'd be this, but it's not. This is the front because it has to pull the plow through the ground, so that's how it moves forward. So this would be, I guess, the intake or the radiator area, and it's been painted black. There's actually mounts here to have one of those spools sitting on an arm, but it wasn't sent to me. Again, this is just a reject print. So I'm actually surprised it's painted quite a lot. And there we have some vertical strakes, a whole bunch of access doors, with the hinges and the handles, I guess, to open them. Some sort of toe hoops, I guess. And then they have a chrome exhaust pipe, and it's got one of those things that flips up as it revs up. Interesting. So being 1/64, it has solid windows. Okay, it's painted black. And then this is like a glossy yellow mustard color. It looks like your typical construction, like Caterpillar kind of color. This side, you'll see from the top, it's not a symmetric device. You have a walking platform on this side and that side. So going over here, this is the air intake box. you know, and then it feeds into the engine that's somewhere in this under this cover. There's no black paint here. I guess at some point they realized this is not fit for sale, so they just stopped working on it. I think these are rings to maybe lift this whole cabin off the thing by a crane, but I might be mistaken. This is probably some sort of fresh air inlet for the cabin. You can see the door here. There's some hinges and a handle, and then the recessed window. There's some sort of tank here. Maybe that's that 70-gallon oil tank or something for the hydraulic system. So it looks like a toolbox or something here. There's a little footstep there. And then this one actually has handrails. They're actually exaggerated, a little bit larger than they should be. But, you know, if you made handrails 100% 164, you would just break these off. So they have to be thick and strong. Alright, this looks the same, but I didn't notice there's two footsteps there. Okay, and then some axis hatches with like bolt head details. Interesting, there actually is black paint on this side here. Okay. And then I think the reason why this is a reject print is this seems to be glued shut or so tight I can't move the pivot. So something went wrong with the painting there. But I'm sure the sellable ones. This is designed to pivot up and down. But at least it's not, you know, down because it can actually rest on the table fine. So I'm quite happy with it. Okay, you'll notice here you have these little rising points are all the support structure that was used to print this thing. That's just the way resin printers work. They have a bunch of supports, you have to break them off, and that's what happens. You can see that the cabin and the engine cover are pegged in here through the bottom. Okay, the tracks here, they're separate pieces, and they're pegged into the side. You can see the support structure here. Yeah. Okay. So the pistons obviously aren't going to move at this scale. It's just never going to happen unless you use steel or something. But it is nice that the piston hose here is floating or whatnot there. And then you got a bunch of bolt head ends or whatever they are. Some reinforcement plates for the arms. And then get into the plow itself. Here's the feeder mechanism. There's like some wheels in here, and they basically suck the hose and they send it down the plow, and then it takes a bend and it comes out here. So this is like the tooth of the plow, you know, it's digging into the ground, this going like that, and it lays the pipe out as it's digging the trench, as you saw in that video. So a bunch of reinforcement stuff there, a bunch of other details that go on these things. I can't really say exactly what everything is. Alright, so there's an opening here for that tubing to come out. And then, yeah, just a bunch of reinforcements. This box here is actually where all the hydraulic lines would attach to. Sorry, it's so black it's hard to see, but yeah, a whole bunch of hoses would connect to this thing and then go out to all the cylinders to actuate the hydraulics. But obviously you can't have that in 1/64 scale. Alright, so this side here we have the walkway to get out the back of this thing. And you can see the door has hinges and a handle and stuff. And then there's some pistons here because this end, there's a pivot. On the real thing, this thing would flip up when it's actually driving. Right now it's just in the down mode as if you're get in and out of the vehicle. Alright, so that is that. I don't know much about construction equipment. If you know any other cool trivia about the Hydramaxx 3320, please leave a comment. I'm sure other viewers would appreciate it. There's some blade details here. The blades must be replaceable, so they have a bunch of bolt heads on them. So I'm sure you can just replace that on the real one as they get dull. Let me get this thing spinning. So this is a rare instance where I'm actually going to tell you where you can get these things. Usually I don't talk about where I buy stuff. I mean, you have the internet. I live in a foreign country. Shipping costs are different for everyone. Exchange rates are different for everyone. So that's why I don't respond to answers questions like, where can I get that? If you're too lazy to figure things out on the internet, maybe you shouldn't be buying this sort of stuff. Anyways, but today I'm going to talk about this website because this is the only place where you can buy this thing. It's called Empty Pocket Rebuilds, EPR. There's their phone number. They're in the US. This is 3D printed resin models, finished, painted, decaled, all that stuff. So That's a nice thing. If you ever watch some of my videos about making models, I always complain about painting them because it's a real time consuming and annoying process. Frankly, I think the prices are actually inexpensive. This is a $40 38-foot triple axle trailer, right? So this is 3D printed resin. If you watch my resin videos, those things are 60 bucks at least, $60 models. Maybe not at least. $30 to $100 is a good resin model of a car in 164. So I think that's a good bargain. But this person also does bigger models, and we're talking other things as well. Construction equipment, farm machines, renewable energy, crushers, whatever, all these categories of stuff. So there they are, the two Americans making stuff in America, which is a pretty rare thing. You know, almost everything I buy is made in China. And that's fine and dandy and all, but you know, if you have national pride and you're actually watching this from America, you can support this person. I actually don't get paid for any of these videos, you know. I get paid to design these models, and that's it. How successful this website is completely up to you. So, but I do feel obligated to show you this because I was sent this model for free, you know. So, even though it's a not for sale model, I don't even know what's wrong with it. Like, oh, I know what's wrong with it. This thing doesn't pivot. The sellable ones, this whole plow can pivot up and down. But I think this one was maybe glued in place. So that's why it was sent to me instead of sold on the website. So anyways, I'm still happy with it. It's cool to see my CAD work become a real three-dimensional object. Although I could print stuff myself, this is too big for me to collect. So I never would have printed this on my own. Okay, well, thank you for sending this model, Empty Pocket Rebuilds. And if you like this sort of 164 construction stuff, you want to check out this website. I have 2 other tractors that was sent, and so I'll be reviewing those later on. And hopefully we'll see you in those videos. Thanks. Bye.